Watch this video if you want to learn what are 5 reasons why sometimes it's difficult to break up with your partner. For the best relationship advice, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification to be notified every time I upload a video. My name is Diana and I own a website called Better Topics that is dedicated to helping couples experience more love, joy and connection. Now, generally, I like to advise people on how to improve their relationship and how to make almost everything they can to keep the relationship and improve it. However, we have to acknowledge that in certain situations, especially if we're not on the same wavelength anymore with our partner and we don't grow into the same direction with our partner, sometimes it's just best to go on our separate ways. And here are a few reasons why some people might find this very difficult. Reason number 1 is the fear of being alone or not meeting the right person. Some people would rather be in a okay relationship or a not so fulfilling relationship just out of fear of being alone. And this fear kind of goes hand in hand with the fear of not meeting the right person ever. And generally people who have lower self-esteem, they tend to believe that they won't meet anyone better than their current partner, although they are not happy with their current partner and their current relationship. This can become a very negative thing, especially if people who are afraid of being alone, they start putting up with a lot of disrespect in their current relationship or maybe even abuse of any sort just because they are scared to be alone. Not being in love with your partner and happy with your relationship overall can lead to a lot of resentment over time and maybe even to some more serious repercussions such as mental health issues like depression and such. If you're one of these people, try to keep in mind that this fear of being alone or not meeting the right person, it is only an illusion. I know it might be quite difficult to accept this, but the more you think about it, the more it will make sense. I mean, if you are single and your attention is not directed towards a relationship that is not fulfilling anymore, you actually have time to redirect your attention towards finding the right person for you that would actually make you happy and would want to grow together. Now, the second reason why some people might find it difficult to break up with their partner is fear of failure. Now, we live in a society where overachievers and achievers in general are rewarded, and those who come second in a competition tend to be forgotten. Therefore, if our relationship doesn't work out, we might have this fear that maybe if we would have worked on it a bit more, we could have actually turned it around and improved it. Purely because we don't want to accept the fact that it might not be our fault that the relationship didn't work, or that they might not even be the right person for us. Therefore, some people have this fear of considered a failure if they haven't managed to make their relationship work. Therefore, we might end up accepting more than we actually should just out of fear of being considered a failure because our relationship failed. By not dealing with this fear, we end up staying in a relationship that overall is not helping us grow and is not making us happy either, just making us more frustrated because we tend to put in a lot of effort into it, but it's still not going anywhere. So sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, as they say, and get out of the relationship with the risk of being considered a failure. At least if we've tried everything we could, to improve it and it still didn't work, at least we have that peace of mind that we have tried our best and it just didn't work because maybe we were just not as compatible as we thought we were, or we just had different paths in life. The third reason why some people might find it difficult to break up from their partner is the fear of what people might think. This is especially in communities where everyone knows everyone and most people are very nosy and they just want to know what's happening in everyone's house. However, you have to keep in mind one thing. In your relationship, it is you and your partner. You should try not to care what other people think, because at the end of the day, they are outside your relationship. You're inside your relationship together with your partner. It is you two that know whether is it worth it to stay in the relationship and work on it and grow it, or maybe it is just best if you go your separate ways. At the end of the day, people from outside, they might have an opinion about it, especially if they are quite close to you, but remember that they are different personalities as well. They might accept certain things that you're not willing to accept in your relationship. Similarly, as you might accept certain things that they would not agree with. Also, you might be scared of, being attached a certain label to you once you broke up with your partner. However, you have to remember that this is your life and you have to take a decision to make yourself happy. Because if you decide to stay with your partner only to make everyone else happy but yourself, you will end up resenting them at the end of the day. Because even if you break up from your partner today, and yes, people might talk about it and they might have an opinion, so what? That is their opinion. Let them have their opinion at the end of the day, and you continue your life. And you will see that they will come around eventually, and they might even end up agreeing with you in the end that it was actually the best thing, especially once you meet the ideal person for you. For example, before I got married, there have been quite few years that I've been alone because I chose to. Because I chose not to go into a relationship unless I know for definite that this person is ideal for me. Although everyone in my family, friends, even colleagues at work, they were constantly asking me, when am I going to get married? When am I going to meet someone? Why am I not going out with this person, that person, or the other one? Or if I went on a date, then everyone was expecting me to get married at the second date if possible. Whereas I congratulate myself to this day that I didn't listen to them and I didn't care what people said. And I stuck to my ideas and I didn't go into a relationship unless I knew for certain that that person is ideal for me. After a while, I have met this amazing person who is now my husband, Robert, and then obviously we started being in a relationship and got married, and I am so happy that I didn't listen to anyone else and I waited until the right moment came and the right person came into my life, because now I am so much happier. Now, I'm not saying that you should put up meeting someone for years like I've done. I'm just saying that you should not care of what other people say, because they don't understand what you need and what you want to be happy. Another reason why some people might find it difficult to break up is the fear of hurting the other person. Especially if you still care for that person, it might be quite difficult to bring up the conversation about actually breaking up and the conversation about why we are unhappy in the relationship. It is more difficult, especially if that person is a very nice and kind person and loving towards us, but we don't feel that love in return. What I suggest is, instead of ending cheating on them or just being disrespectful, better just sit down and be kind towards them and have a discussion and be very honest and explain what is it that makes you unhappy and why is it actually that you want to break up. The reason why I suggest you do this is because you might end up hurting them more in the long run if you just keep everything bottled inside, and as I said, you might end up hurting them even more and for longer. Whereas if you sit down with them and have an honest conversation, yes, they might hurt at that moment, but at least they will have enough time to recover and get over it, and then maybe they will end up finding a right person for them who will actually cherish them and appreciate them properly. Now, if this fear of hurting someone is somewhat more extreme as to we are scared of what that person might do to us, then you should get specialist help and get out of that relationship ASAP. Now, another reason why some people might find it difficult to break up is cost of living and moving out. Cost of living should never be a valid reason why you're staying in a relationship. If for any reason you can't afford to, rent a place by yourself, then it's okay. You can find roommates. You can move back with your parents for a while until you figure out what you want to do, or even maybe take an extra job or an extra part-time job. Especially these days where there are so many things you can do online, why not try something like that and try to move out and have your own space if you want to. But cost of living should never be a reason why you're staying in a relationship. It is not fair towards you, and it is not fair towards your partner either, because you're not sincere in your reasons why you're in that relationship. And if you're not honest with the person that you're sharing a bed with and a house with, then how can you expect other people to be honest with you? I mean, I understand there is a certain level of comfort you're used to, but are you really happy? If you're not happy, then just put your ducks in a row and move out. and at least you will give yourself a chance for happiness and your partner as well. They might end up finding someone who truly appreciates them as a person, and you will find someone who appreciates you and makes you happy. Let me know what you think about these reasons of why some people find it difficult to break up, and whether you know any other reasons that I haven't covered yet. If you want to join a community of like-minded people who want to work on their relationship, make sure to join our Facebook group, and the link for this I will leave in the description box below. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and feel free to share it with your friends.